I'm sure you already know what film I'm going to review today, and that is Spider-Man No Way Home. This is going to be a spoiler-free review as much as I can, so I'm going to talk about the film based on what has already transpired online and the clips that's released. I'll try my best not to talk about anything that's not been revealed, and I'll try to keep it as nondescript as possible. And since this is a spoiler-free review, I'm going to keep it short since the film has just opened about a few days ago. So here we go. Spider-Man No Way Home. First up, congratulations to director Jon Watts on his Spider-Man Home trilogy, because first we had Spider-Man Homecoming, then Spider-Man Far From Home, and now Spider-Man No Way Home. This director has some home issues, I think. But let's get the first thing first. We've been hearing about this film for quite some time. We do not know how Marvel is going to react since they finished the Avengers that phase, and the films that came out after that has been kind of lukewarm per se. You know, things like Internals has not been gotten really great reviews. But since Spider-Man is not really 100% Marvel, it's owned by Sony and Columbia, so it's a different kind of project, I might say, since Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man. It's kind of complicated, let's not get into it. But based on this, I must tell you that the anticipation for this film and the hype is absolutely real. It is good as it can get, and sometimes even better if you go into the theater without any expectation. And getting this film done during the pandemic in itself should receive an Academy Award, because first of all, it looks gorgeous. Second of all, the action set pieces really put you on edge. And third, there's lots of throwback to all the other Spider-Man films, and also lots of Easter eggs for fanboys to digest. And on top of that, this film has a lot of heart in it, a lot of emotional pull, and it's a lot of fun. So I mean, what else do you want from a superhero / action film? It has everything in it. So let's get down to the basics. The story basically leaves and continues from the previous film.
Spider-Man's name is Peter Parker. What the?
Everyone in the world now knows he is Spider-Man. He has absolutely no privacy. His life is in ruins. Himself, MJ, and his best friend Ned, everyone is looking down on them, thinking that they killed Mysterio, and they can't even go into college because of their bad reputation. So their life is just in tatters. So Peter Parker, desperate to try to do something about it, goes and see Dr. Stephen Strange, aka Mr. Sherlock himself, and asked whether he could create something to erase everyone, the memory of Peter Parker as Spider-Man.
Nice knowing you, Spider-Man.
Wait, excuse me?
The entire world's about to forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
But the spell goes wrong when Peter tries to interfere with the spell, saying that he only wants a few people to remember who he is, and then the rest forgets who he is as Spider-Man. So during that spell, Doctor Strange casts maybe the recipe was wrong, and then boom, shit happens. Villains from the other crossover / other Spider-Man universe comes in. You've seen from the trailer, we have Dr. Octopus, we have Electro, we have Sandman, we have the Lizard, of course the Green Goblin, because we saw a pumpkin bomb coming through the smoke. And it's extremely exciting. I remember the first time when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I just cannot believe that they can actually do this. And when I saw Dr. Octopus saying,
"Hello, Peter,"
it really sends shivers down my spine. And it's really an exciting endeavor to actually go into this film fully loaded, fully prepared. And I was just praying that please do not fail me like Star Wars did. And lo and behold, it did not fail me. I thoroughly enjoyed the film. 2 hours and 40 minutes or so just went by very fast. You don't really feel it because you were so entertained from beginning all the way to end. The stakes are very high for Peter Parker. I mean, once small move, he really messes things up. And he did. Somewhere in the middle of the story, he made a very foolish, childlike decision that really messes things up.
Give me the box.
No.
And I was extremely very angry at the character. I'm like, why you do that? You know, it's so unlike Spider-Man to make that kind of stupid, dumb choice. Then I figure out that, well, because he's still a kid, so I think understandably he is, you know, impulsive, and he doesn't really know what to do. So, you know, kudos. I think I understand that. So let's talk about what I love about it. I mean, first thing I loved about the story is great. It's not flatline. It's not something that's simple as hero save the day and crush all the villains. This time I see that the characters like Peter Parker, MJ, Ned, they are really very comfortable in this film. It's really like, for the first time, it feels like a Spider-Man film on its own without having the crutches of the MCU to support it. And Tom Holland really looks good and feels good, and he's very comfortable as Peter Parker. I think this is the best film as Peter Parker for him that I've seen so far. And it works really well. And what surprised me was the ending of the film. I never expected it. I never saw it coming. It really satisfied the whole arc of the character's growth. Just a warning, everyone, if you're very sentimental, you might want to bring a pack of tissues for you. But nevertheless, this film is filled with great action set pieces, a lot of fanboy service, a lot of Easter egg nods to other things from the comics and from the other films as well. This time the villains are not just coming in and then they say, and then they fight with Spider-Man and then they get away with it. Each and every one of them do bring a piece of the story with them. Most notably the Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus, they get more screen time to flush out their stories. And they're not just bystander this time, so that's great. So that is the good part. Now I do have some bits of concern after watching the film, and I will just point out one or two very simple concerns. I think the flow and the pacing of the film at times feels rushed. I know, I get it, like you want straight away the action to start. There's bits and pieces for us to rest, but I feel that that's just a small respite from all the information, the story and the action set pieces just cramping in as fast as possible. I have a feeling that the story was longer than what it was supposed to be, and then they tried to cut it down for theoretical time. I do understand it, but at times I feel the editing and the set pacing was a bit rushed. That's just me, you know. And maybe they were trying to compensate for something that they could not achieve, and they just slabber it with a lot of action and fast cuts. So I don't know, I could be wrong, but I felt that some pieces would benefit more with a little bit more of the emotional background exposition that they started off. Like, the stakes are high for Peter. I want to explore more of that. I love it when the characters came back, the villains came back. I wanted to have more of the backstory for the audience to be engaged with. I thought that was something that I wanted more as for myself. And I love the action set pieces which I mentioned to you. They were really well done. I just feel that at some points, I think they were a bit too long, or maybe they were a bit too much. I get it that it's an action film, but there is something called too much. And maybe, just maybe, because they cut off quite a lot of the exposition story, that they just slaughter it with action set pieces to cover up for the perhaps first or second draft of exposition in the film. And it's just push. So yeah, it's like a roller coaster that never stops. It's just like up and down without any straight lines. And not that it's a bad thing, it's just that maybe some people want some parts to be a bit more straighter, and have more moments of rest and reflection. But nevertheless, I think that's my only gripe with the film, and I do not want to review anything more. So overall, this is a very, very good film. It really surprised me. It really hits the notes as what you wanted it to be. And it's just in times for the holidays. The pandemic has really gotten a lot of people really down. This is one film that left me with smiles after I left the theater, and wanting more, and perhaps I will see the film again, perhaps in a better, more upgraded theater like IMAX or Dolby Atmos surround 11.2 signals, just to have a different, wider view experience of this particular film. Maybe I'll just do that as a Christmas gift to myself. So nevertheless, this particular film, Spider-Man No Way Home, I want to give it an A, a grade A film. So go and watch it. If you watch the other Spider-Man films, if you follow the MCU, you should have no problem fitting into this film. Unless you did not see any of the previous Spider-Man films, it's going to be very tough for you to follow. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me. Please click like button just somewhere below here. Please subscribe to my channel, join my channel family, and also click the notification button to be notified for any future content from the screening room. Come back anytime. The room is always open. See you soon.